Well, it was inevitable. Welcome back, troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Today, I'm here to clear up your fears of a looming reverb price increase, as well as talk about some cool models. But let's talk about this new reverb fee. Okay, so you might have saw a bunch of comments and forums and whatnot, all complaining how reverb's charging more money. I want to be abundantly clear here. This is not a reverb fee increase. It's a payment processing fee increase. You know, same thing that PayPal is charging you. So if you're using reverb payments on October 27th, your processing fee is now going to increase to 3.19%. Now, to put things into perspective, it is currently 2.7%. So that's almost a 0.5% increase. So let's do some math here. Based on a $1,000 sale, just make things easy. So you're still going to have Reverb's current 5% fee, which is going to be $50 here, and then you have the payment processing. So if it was 2.7%, it used to be $27. However, at Reverb's new 3.19%, it's about $32. So you're only going to see a few dollar increase. I mean, even if you're selling a $10,000 guitar, you're not really gonna feel this all that much. This is nothing like 2 years ago when Reverb increased their fee from 3.5% to 5%. That you kinda felt. However, what's also interesting here is they're increasing their per transaction fee. It's now almost 50 cents, which is double, but at the end of the day, it's a quarter. However, it's not just Reverb increasing these payment processing fees. They're going up for a reason. Just recently, PayPal announced they're increasing their 2.9% all the way up to 3.49 for most PayPal checkouts. However, it seems like you can potentially get reduced rates depending on how they send the money. I'm not entirely sure how that all works. So in many ways, this could have been worse than it was, but you can still use PayPal to check out on Reverb. So you also have to remember, if somebody's paying with PayPal, you're going to have a higher percent fee regardless. You really want to use Reverb's payment processing system if you can, because it's just cheaper. But if you're a Reverb preferred seller, meaning you have 10 plus feedbacks that are good, you can actually get their reduced rate, which is very similar to PayPal's old one, 2.99%, versus the current one only being 2.5%, but it is what it is, guys. It's the sign of the times, unfortunately. However, if you want something to really freak out about, Etsy, the people who own Reverb now, very recently has decided to charge 6.5% on your total order. So is that coming for Reverb soon? I sure hope not, because we're pretty much getting back to the old days of eBay's 10%. At that point, and I suppose we should check in on eBay here. Musical instruments and gear is currently at 6% here, so it's just more expensive to sell on eBay. I get a good chuckle out of eBay. They've just stopped competing against Reverb. They decided, hey, the people who sell on our site, we're just going to charge them more. We're not going to try to even the playing field, because eBay knows they've lost. So overall, don't get tricked to thinking Reverb's doing something crazy, massive fee increase. It's actually pretty mild. For now. We'll see how things go in the future, because Reverb has been making a lot of changes. I just want to bring this other one up to you guys because it's more so a behind the scenes thing here, where I noticed Reverb had a very, very, very big, potentially costly loophole that I decided to go, you guys might want to fix that. So back on August 25th, I get this email that says they are changing how they do their refund process. Starting on August 29th, when you issue a refund, it no longer acts as a negative balance in your Reverb account, because that's the way it used to be. You would send a refund, and then it would just be a negative balance on your payout. So for example, I refund a $2,500 guitar. The next time I have a $5,000 sale, they're going to take $2,500 of that out of there. So I would only get $2,500 for that guitar, you know, minus all the other fees and whatnot. That's how they process their refunds, and I thought that was a perfectly fine way to do it. However, you have to think, what happens if somebody just closes their account and they don't want it? Well, that's why they make you have a payment card on file. They'll just manually charge it. But as we just learned, processing credit cards is not free. So I always thought Reverb left that as a last chance resort. If we have to eat the fee to recoup most of the money, okay, that's the cost of doing business. And that's how it used to be. They would give you 14 days to do another sale to complete that, and if not, there was still a negative balance, they would just charge your card to make sure that they get their funds. However, their new process states negative balances will be charged at the end of business day with no 14-day waiting period. So here's what you could have done. You buy a guitar from yourself on a different account, and then on that account, you process a refund. So technically, this transaction didn't exist anymore. You're not going to get any points over here, unfortunately. However, Reverb is going to charge this guy's account right here, and say you have a 2% cashback card linked to that account. They're going to charge that, and Reverb's going to have to front that fee. So you could technically do that as many times as you'd like. And let's show you the power of math. Let's say you're doing it on a $10,000 guitar. 2% cash back is $200. Do that 100 times and you've got $20,000. Sit there all day, do it 2,000 times, you all of a sudden almost have $500,000. So naturally, I was like, are you sure you guys want to do that? To which they just kind of said yes. And so I explained it to them just right there like that. And then they said, thanks for the input. Next thing I know, my Reverb account is banned. Nah, just kidding. Next thing I knew, this was here. We encourage sellers to initiate refunds on 5 or fewer orders per month. If you initiate more than 5 in a month, you will be charged a processing fee for each additional refund you initiate. Okay, I think this is really fair and generous of Reverb, because PayPal doesn't give any money back on refunds either anymore. So Reverb's always kind of had to eat that fee when that does happen. So the fact that they're actually giving you 5 freebies per month is great. So please, the infinite money glitch I just taught you guys, don't do it, or else you're gonna ruin this for us. However, at the same time, if you process a lot of refunds on Reverb, I hope you're aware of this, because I never got any big notification of that. I only noticed it because sometimes I like to buy guitars back from people and I just offered them a full refund. It's like, this player's grade 57 Junior I sold 7 years ago. I'd like to buy it back. I'll just send them a, hey, if you want to return this, I'll give you a free shipping label and we'll just act like this never happened. Now, it wasn't this particular guitar I was doing that on recently. I just always think it's funny to look back on old sales. So I think that catches us up on the whole Reverb game. Yes, things are slightly increasing. It's nowhere near as bad as people were making it out to be. And I would still say they're being pretty fair on the refund front. I was fully expecting them to just not refund fees and stuff anymore. But now we've got some new releases. The Tony Iommi Monkey SG Special. Again, we had the Custom Shop, which I've reviewed and documented here. Absolute beautiful pieces. Sadly, there are still some brand new ones on the market that have sat there ever since release. Like, how has number 2 sat that long? I get it. These were the first ridiculously expensive guitar, like so absurdly expensive that you really couldn't justify the price tag, that I can remember anyways. But for the most part, these sold okay. And then last year they came out with the Gibson USA version. I was pretty pumped for those. It was the first time they were relatively affordable. However, it was an okay guitar in my opinion. As a used guitar dealer, the way I view those is a massive flop. Currently, there's not many on the used market, but when they do show up, you have to discount these pretty heavily. If I remember correctly, my Lefty, because I did the whole cool review where I had both of them, it took a long time to sell, and I think I ended up selling it for like, what, $1,800? And that was at the peak of the, hey, everything brand new that sells out instantly sells for so much more over list price. So maybe Gibson is selling these things just fine and they're making good money. However, as a used guitar, they don't hold value very well. So when I saw the announcement video, I got really excited for these. It's like, yes, this as an Epiphone works so well. I know people like the Monkey SG. They like the whole P90 SG Special, and they've got kind of the interesting plastic design going on. It looks like they're opting for a 2-piece mahogany body on these with a 1-piece mahogany neck. So at least we don't have to deal with that weird veneer that the SG standards in the Epiphone lineup have. I was really hoping we would have Gibson USA pickups in here, but no, it's just the Epiphone P90s, but they're not that bad. But they did a great job recreating the plastics of this and giving it all the deep bevels like these things should have. I mean, it's a very nice looking Epiphone and a pretty faithful recreation of it, I would say. And let's be fair here, they didn't have to do this. They could have just put a regular wrap tail on there and just had a P90 SG Special and called it the Monkey because it has a weird pickguard on it. And it's got the modern day Epiphone headstock. You even get a little Tony Iommi signature decal back here with Grover tuners. So naturally, I was thinking, okay, it's based on one of these. Let's throw the artist affiliation premium in there. We're probably looking, what, maybe $650, $750-ish. I about fell out of my chair when I saw 1,000. Wow. I mean, it's nice that it comes in left-handed and right-handed variants, but that's a lot for an Epiphone. I mean, you can even come over here. The 59 Les Paul Standard that has Gibson USA pickups is only $900. Same thing with the Joe Bonamassa signature Lazarus. So the saving grace with this is it does come with a case and it looks exactly like the Custom Shop one. It's got the yellow interior. So everything added together, I was thinking like $850. So this came in $150 higher than I was even thinking. So my honest opinion on that is it's too much. It's probably not worth it. But if somebody wants to new guitar day it, maybe we just need to give it a chance. But at the price point, I really wish we could add like real rosewood and Gibson pickups. I mean, that's my biggest critiques here. But then we got Fender over here releasing some new stuff today. Starting off with the limited Johnny Marr Jaguar. This is nothing new. They currently have a metallic KO and an Olympic white finished one of these, and I think they've had them even before this even. But it's coming in a new color called Fever Dream Yellow. I mean, to me it looks like Capri Orange, so maybe it's just my monitor's not showing it. I almost thought it was a matching headstock at first, but no, I think that's just the natural wood grain. This finish really appeals to me, so if anybody's interested in new guitar dang one of these, yeah, I'll definitely review this one. That's a striking finish. Jaguars are pretty interesting guitars, so I'm pretty hopeful that I'll probably end up reviewing and documenting one of these, so we don't need to talk too much about it. But it looks like it's coming in a cool case too. Fender also recently came out again with the Joe Strummer Telecaster. I mean, are they running out of ideas, or are they just reissuing things to keep prices in control? This is not the first time that they've done this, and you might think, hey, $1,800 for a USA signature that's been aged? That's pretty good. But no, it's a Mexican one. So that kind of changes your price expectations. These brand new signature Mexican models have really been pushing that $1,500 to $2,000 envelope when they used to be the low 1,000s. Now for me, I just don't really like this one. The aging's not for me, but that's mainly because I'm not the biggest punk music guy in the world. I'd honestly never even seen this guitar before it became a signature. So I'm sure if you've seen this before, you're probably like, oh, what are you talking about, Trogly? This looks great. And it's definitely the most extensive relic job I've seen come out of Fender Mexico, so I give them props. I mean, they have to make a whole bunch of these things. And yeah, they're all gonna vary just a little bit. So it's another one, I mean, if somebody wants a new guitar day, I'll do it, and I'll probably have a great time and be like, oh yeah, it might not look that impressive, but just play it. But Fender also recently came out with a new update to the Aerodyne series. This one is the Special Telecaster. Special Telecaster's right. They got rid of the pick guard. Oh my goodness, that's why it looks so strange. It's not just the pick guard, there's no control plate on it. It's so weird. I mean, it's still a covered neck pickup, but random white bobbin bridge pickup. It's got the more modernized style thing going on here. It's got binding. I've got to say, a back plate on a Tele actually looks pretty darn good. And these are made in Japan. That's nice. Looks like we even have locking tuners. And at $1,300, you can't go wrong. But it's got California Blue, which honestly looks pretty cool. Then you've got Dolphin Gray. Love the name. Not so convinced on the finish, but maybe it looks better in person. And then Hot Rod Burst looks like hot trash in my opinion, but I would assume if you slap a giant black pick guard on this, then it would be cool. But it's nice that you get the cool matching black headstock. And oh, black back of the body. Looks like Dolphin still gets to be gray back here, but yeah, kind of another interesting one. All right, troglodytes, now that you're up to date, I need to say goodbye. Thank you for tuning in today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care.